In the Punjab, there is a house that has sung for 600 years. Not as a hobby, not as a career, as a duty. They call it the Qawwal Bachun Ka Gharana, the house of the Qawwal children. A lineage of singers tracing itself back to the 13th century, back to the poet saint Amir Khusro, back to the Chishti order of Sufi mystics who believed God could be reached through music. Not performed, invoked. For 600 years, this family sang inside the shrines of the Sufi saints, for the dead, for the devoted, for God. In 1948, in a house in Layalpur, a town its people would later rename Faisalabad, a boy was born into that lineage. His name was Nusrat. His father, Fateh Ali Khan, was already a respected Qawwal, a master of the form and a scholar of it too. But when his son was born, he did not want this life for him. He wanted a doctor or an engineer, something the world outside the shrine would call respectable. Because in the Pakistan of his time, the men who sang for God at the Darbar were rarely honored the way the songs themselves were. But the boy kept coming back to the tabla, kept coming back to his father's rehearsals, to the harmonium, to the rhythm cycles his father tried to keep him away from. It was Nusrat's uncle, Mubarak Ali Khan, who first told his brother, "This one has something." Slowly, his father relented. He began training him, not as a future doctor, but as the next voice of the house. He never got to hear where that voice would go. In 1964, Fateh Ali Khan died. Nusrat was 15, still a boy. 40 days later, at his father's chelum, the ritual gathering that marks the end of mourning, the family's Qawwali party took its place, as it always had. And the boy who was never meant to sing stepped forward and led it. For years, that voice belonged only to the shrines. Nusrat sang at Data Darbar in Lahore, one of the holiest Sufi sites in South Asia, at the Urs, the death anniversary festivals held for saints who had been dead for centuries. He sang the way his family always had, for the saints, for the mourners, for no audience beyond the ones already kneeling. In 1971, his uncle Mubarak Ali Khan, the man who first saw the gift in him, died too. Nusrat, still in his 20s, became the sole leader of the ensemble. Nusrat Fateh Ali Khan and Party. The house entirely his to carry now. For a decade and a half, he carried it inside Pakistan, deepening a 600-year tradition, note by note, shrine by shrine. Then, in 1985, he carried it somewhere it had never been. He performed at WOMAD, a festival built for the world's music, in front of an audience that had never heard Qawwali, never heard a voice built for devotion turned loose on a stage built for spectacle. Among those watching was Peter Gabriel. What followed was a decade of crossing. Gabriel brought him to real-world records, paired him with the producer Michael Brook, and in 1990, the album Must Must turned devotional fire into something a Western dance floor could move to, without ever fully leaving the shrine behind. A second album, Night Song, earned a Grammy nomination. In 1995, Nusrat sat in a studio with Eddie Vedder of Pearl Jam, recording for the film Dead Man Walking. Two voices from opposite ends of the earth, reaching for the same ache. By 1996, a song called Afreen Afreen no longer devotional, but a love song, carried on the same soaring architecture he'd built his whole life inside, was playing in homes that had never once heard the word Qawwali. They called him Shahenshah-e-Qawwali, the King of Kings of Qawwali. Rolling Stone would later name him among the greatest voices to ever sing. He had done what no one in 6 centuries of his family had done, carried the sound of the shrine into the ears of the entire world. But the world he was carrying it to kept asking for more of him than one body could give. By the autumn of 1996, the toll was becoming public. Diabetes, weight the doctors couldn't explain away, a body carrying 2 worlds and beginning to buckle under both. In August of 1997, Nusrat left Lahore. He was traveling toward Los Angeles, toward a hospital, toward a kidney transplant that might have given him more time. He never arrived. In London, mid-journey, his body gave out, his heart failing after years of declining health, following kidney and liver complications that had been building for longer than anyone around him wanted to admit. On the 16th of August, 1997, Nusrat Fateh Ali Khan died. He was 48 years old. He never reached the treatment that might have saved him. He died between 2 worlds, the shrine he came from and the stage he'd spent a decade building for a tradition 600 years older than himself. The boy his father never wanted to see become a Qawwal became the reason the rest of the world ever heard the word at all. This is the song behind the story, where music isn't the background, it's the point.
ਉਹਦੀ ਆਵਾਜ਼ ਵਿੱਚ ਸਾਡੀਆਂ